Hello, good morning from us, and good morning, all duelists. Welcome to the Duelist Cup 2023 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Live here at Singapore. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Kai, and joining us today, we have the wonderful Jasons. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
So for you guys didn't know, it's been a while since we have a major tournament like this Duelist Cups ever since COVID hits, and it's also my first time to be here. And so I believe Jason, you're locals here, right?
Correct.
And
Oh,
yes, it's my first time to be here. A pleasure to be here. And hope you guys had a wonderful day live here. So, what do you think about this event today?
all right. For all of you that are new to here, so Duelist Cup 2023 is the current event that is the qualifiers for World Championship. So the champion and the finalists for this event will be invited to the World Championship 2023. So there's a lot on the stake for today.
Yes, a
Uh,
lot of the line. Every
mm,
player is playing, grinding all of their mights just to
mm,
get here. And of course, we're very exciting to
mm.
see what they have for us. And of course, we'll be bringing you guys every single moment. So don't go
Mm.
anywhere. Be sure to stay tuned. So right now we have our Swiss round one.
Yes, we have a very stacked match one for all of us today. On the left, you have Lauren Vidat. Um, for those that are familiar with him, he's from the Philippines, and he's the finalist in the Asia Championship 2019, which earned him an invite to the World Championship 2019. So for for this event, he earned his invite through the YOT Singapore 2019, and so this time he'll be looking to earn an invitation as well to make a return to the World Championship. Then on the right we have Wan Ching, uh, and he's our favorite world champion from Taiwan. So Wan Ching is most well known for winning the uh, the 2018 World Championship with Trickstar. That allowed him to make a return to the World Championship in 2019, where he finished in the fantastic second place with Salamangreat. So similarly, this year he'll be looking to make a return to the World Championship.
And also very surprised to see both players right here. And also Wang Jiaqing, I also recall that he was grinding a lot for his until today. We'll see him like in many major tournaments, and also we are excited to see him here with us. And for Lauren Vidat, I heard of him that he's a very amazing player. So I never get to see him in action. And of course, it's excited this first time to see right here. So our players now, our table shuffling are also ready to begin. And from what we know that Wang Jiaqing is playing tier elements, I believe.
I'm not too sure. I think we have to see when they play their card.
Yeah, of
So
course, because that's a lot of cards.
yeah, so for this event, it's a very very diverse meta game we have today. So in total, we have 41 players, and there's over 10 different decks that the players have decided to bring to the event.
Yes, yeah,
So
there are lot of decks. Of course,
mm,
the meta is very diverse. The margin is big, and also anything is possible.
yeah, so would you like to share a bit about the meta game breakdown for this event?
Sure. For our most favorites, of course, we have the RAs, the Rescue Ace, also called.
Mm,
A very, I would say, a very surprised this deck has
correct.
done that. With just two cards of supports, it made it to here. And the second favorite, we have the Tier Elements, of course, being the best deck
Mm,
over the year. And after hits so many ban lists, so many limits, and so on, it is still the best deck. Of course, a lot of fan favorites. That's why they're bringing it here. And follow up, we have Purely.
hold on. I think Labyrinth is tied with
Oh
Tier
yeah,
Elements as well.
oh yeah, we have
So
Labyrinth with, as well, being like the most popular trap decks in the
mm,
formats. And of course, a lot of people love traps. And yes, then follow up will be the Purely and 60 good stuff, super heavy samurai.
Earth good stuff as well. So
Yes,
it's a pretty diverse mix of types of decks. So you see, we have the Earth good stuff. That's the extreme combo deck, and then Rescue Ace purely are your standard mid-range decks. while Labyrinth is more of your control deck.
Yes, the slow and
So,
steady stuff.
Yeah, so this is an extremely diverse metagame, and it's very, very challenging to deck build and prepare for this event.
And also for the
So-
players as well, you can't just prepare for just a few decks. You have lots of decks you have to go through to.
Okay. Alright, since the players are ready, they are going for the dice roll, and we'll see who will go first.
Oh, a 6.
Yeah, that's a fantastic opening.
Yes, of course. Lauren
Yeah.
Vidal is choose to go first. Yeah. Good, wonderful handshakes, good sportsmanships.
And Duel 1 is underway.
And also speaking of the meta games, right? You're not gonna be able to prepare what you're going to face since their range is just too big. You have to prepare for everything, and of course, these players have been grinded a lot, and like of course you can also see the old fan favorites, the Thunder Dragons. Back in 2019, this deck is very popular. Of course, bringing out the old cards that was way back in the days. And an interesting choice of choosing to add straight 2 Thunder Dragons from the decks. Mostly they just choose one by one and not let to grind with the Titans. A very interesting choice indeed. Oh, the one of the Bestial Magnum is coming down. Of course, a very strong cards. Being limited to one, and then of course it's just resolve. You see no response from Wang Jiaqing from now. And also banishing the stuff for the Thunder Dragons is always beneficial since you're not gonna wasted your graveyard. Your banish is your second hands. You always recycle it back, and also tribute summon. And set monster interesting.
That is to get the duck into the graveyard, so he could special summon White Ribbon.
Oh, that's interesting. So I did not thought of that.
Oh, his White Ribbon goes into the Striker Dragon, so it seems like he's not playing a Thunder Dragon there, but rather Dragon Link.
Oh yeah, Thunder Dragon Link, or
Oh,
I would
yes.
just say. And also, we do not know what the face-on monster was, but it seems doesn't matter anymore. He's just comboing off. And of course, the Wyvern Buster and Colossus Brand being a very powerful duo, they just replenish themselves with just one card. And we have the link into, I see the Heretic Seal is being played. Oh, it's Thunder Dragon Hawk. And we see the Colossus coming down. So now we have basically like two interruptions. Oh, Wang Jiaqing have response to Hawks maybe. Oh, he chose
Oh,
the
yes,
Ash. He chose the.
Yes.
He chose not allowing Lauren Vida to shuffle his hands.
Yeah. This explains why he went for the double Thunder Dragon right at the start of turn, because he was expecting to be able to shuffle back both of them with Thunder Dragon Hawk effect. But unfortunately, it was stopped by Ash. So he now has 2 Thunder Dragon in hand that Wang Jiaqing knows.
Yes, yes, the one we know will be the 2 Thunder Dragons. I believe he wanted to draw more. That's why he searches the first 2 to the hand. And
Exactly. So yeah, it's to shuffle back with Thunder Dragon Hawk to maximize its effect.
And of course, getting stopped by Ash. And the combo doesn't end there. Of course, end phase will be resolving the Magnamon, searching Baldrake.
Yeah.
Another one off. I'm kind of surprised that he didn't go for the what's his name again? The another bestial with the blue color. Oh,
Druid's Worm.
Oh,
You're right.
Yes,
Druid's Worm will be a more common choice. So we'll see what's his play. Wow, Wang Jiaqing opens with a explosive grass is greener.
The grass is greener, of
Yes.
course. and of course, grass is greener in a 60 decks or in any decks that can put it. If you draw it, you mostly just either you resolve it or you don't. And we're gonna see a bunch of cards sending off from Wang Jiaqing's decks. And of course, Thunder Dragon Colossus is not gonna stop Lawn Moaning from milling these top decks. He's gonna prevent it for search. And right now we're gonna see what he's going to send. We'll see. So Pierce and the one off glow up bulb.
Yeah, so as you can see, Wang Jiaqing is playing quite a standard 60 of good stuff Adamantipator deck.
So the total mill of is 19 cards. And of course all of them are monsters, and another copy of Grass is Greener.
It's hard to say whether it's a good meal or not, since he didn't hit any block dragon. So
Yes, but he did hit the glow up bulb, which is for now the only thing that can come back by itself.
yeah. So we have to see if he has any follow up. So currently now he's under the effect of Thunder Dragon Colossus, so he has very limited choices on what he can do. So
And also he hits the Ishizu Keldo to the graveyard for extra recycle or interruption to your opponents if he decided to shuffle up whatever he needed back to the decks.
Though I think that's not going to help him for now. One of the biggest weakness of the 60 of good stuff deck is that it loses very badly to draw a Lockbird because the deck needs a lot of searching.
Yes,
But
search a lot.
Thunder and Colossus basically has the same effect.
Yes,
Lockbird,
you're preventing them from search.
Yeah.
Oh, Block Dragon is coming down
from his hand, so he actually opened with it. So he didn't really needed Grass to mill it, but rather Grass would provide the material for him to banish the special summon Block Dragon.
Well, with that almost 19 to 18 monsters in the graveyard, I believe he has a lot of the targets for the Block Dragons to coming out.
However, he still has to get rid of Colossus first before he could search with the effect for Block Dragon.
And of course, Colossus being able to prevent himself from destroy by banishing a Thunder from the graveyard. Of course, he can banish the Thunder Dragon Hawk from the graveyard, so he can get to use the shuffle back hand effect again. And this time, if it was destroyed during battle, it can be prevented as well. And also, not to mention, we have the Heractic Seal on the field for interruption. It can tribute itself to bounce a card from the field and to trigger its effect to special summon a dragon from the deck. You get to interrupts, and also you get to add another card to the field, which is you didn't lose anything. But of course, Block Dragon, I believe Block Dragon has 2500 attacks, if I'm not mistaken. So it still can't beat over Colossus, but you can choose to bait out the Heractic Seal. Of course, he still left 3 cards in Wang Jiaqing's hand. He still have resources if he wants to follow ups. Or he choose to enter battle.
Yeah, to attack into Heretic.
And of course, Heretic choose to tribute itself for Chainlink Wands. I believe the effect is non-targets. You get to bounce anything.
And it resolves.
And resolve. Oh, Maxi is in response. You wanted the extra draws.
Yeah, I think Wang Jiaqing needs to dig for an answer against Colossus.
And also, Colossus doesn't stop you from drawing, and you can always prey on the top decks. After the draw, it will be 4 hands for Wang Jiaqing. Of course, Lauren Vida still thinking what to special via the effects of Heractic Seals. Of course, he has a lot of targets. Oh, we see Druid's Worm, we were just mentioning about it just now. And of course, Druid's Worm attack defense will be 0 since it's summoned by the effects of Heractic Seals. And now it's checking the graveyard. Maybe wanted to... Oh, Maxi is response from Vidat as well. So both players having Maxis ongoing. That is very interesting.
Alright, but since that Lauren did not declare his Maxi a bit too late, so we have officially actually moved into the main phase 2. So Wang Jiaqing has a priority here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Lauren Vidat did not manage to play his Maxi before that.
Yes, that's very unfortunate. But of course, it still doesn't stop there. Of course, the Colossus on the field is still the biggest problem we can see right now. And of course, Maxi in response to the Emancipator. Oh, we see cross out. We see cross out Detonator being played. Of course, the another one off. We see a lot of one off from both players. Of course, a very powerful card, cross out Detonator, being able to banish another copy of a card to negate effect until the end of turns. Of course, Maxi is being declared. And of course, not to forget that if because of cross out Detonator is being activated, so Wang Jiaqing can of course go for the extend for the Emancipator part. And the top 5 being excavated, we summon a non-tuner, I believe, from the top decks.
Correct. So he managed to hit the Coral Gem.
Well, very interesting choice of Coral Gems. Because not a lot of people know what this card does. And of course, being a rock type at level 2 is very, very crucial to the combo part. And we see banishing 3 monsters of the Block Dragon is coming down again.
Yes.
Such an awesome card that is not once per turn to coming out. And you can splash it all the way. And we gonna see a Link play. Oh, the Earth Charmer has been played. Of course, he can always target the Maxi since it's activated. The Earth Charmer being a Link Climb, I would say fodder, is like really nice. Every deck is playing Maxis most of the time. You always have your targets. As long as you can summon out a Earth, even if you normal summon Maxi, you can still gonna bring out your opponent's Maxi to extend even more.
Also, it's normally used for is in a combo to bring out the Archfane to go into Braver. But in this case, since it's going second, he doesn't need Braver Dragon, but rather he needs a way to answer Lawrence's board.
Yes, that board looks simple, of course very deadly. And the Baldred in response to Charmer, and of course Mudora is activated by banishing himself and target up to 3 cards in the graveyard and shuffle it back to the decks.
So the first target will be the Thunder Dragon Hawk that will prevent Baldred from being special summoned.
And of course shuffling the resources from his own grave so he can continue to search or even grind. And of course the resolve, the effects of Charmer is gonna special summon Maxi to the point markers. And of course Block Dragon can't be triggered due to Colossus is still on the field. And of course we don't forget that Drew's room is still over there. I believe the Heretic Seals summon attack 0 is forever, right?
Yes.
Oh, we see Unicorn coming.
Oh, yes.
Of course, that's the answer he was searching for. And we see Block Dragon coming out again. Oh, that's an interesting card. I believe that is the card from Premium Pack, right?
I'm not too sure, but it's a fossil card that is played by some of the Emancipator deck.
And of course, it's a rock type. Very, very interesting choice. We see a lot of different tech cards in the decks, and of course, the Colossus is out of the way. We'll see even more. Due to the Unicorn, it is bounced back to the deck. It doesn't destroy it. So literally nothing can prevent that from happening out. That's very unfortunate. And of course we see double Block Dragon as well. And since he's gonna replenish the 3 cards later on, he's not gonna run out of resources during these turns, and he will make a even bigger board since it's main phase 2. So
I think Jiaqing is in a very strong position right now. So we know what's in Lawrence's hand. He has 2 Thunder Dragon and a Baldrake. So basically he has no more response for the rest of the turn. So Jiaqing is free to do whatever he wants for this turn. So now the game is in the ballpark. So as long as he don't make any mistake, this game will be his.
Yes, of course we're gonna see a link for the Appaloosa is coming out with, of course, the 2 negations, and Block Dragon finally resolving the effects. searching up to 3 cards from the deck. A total level of 8 and must be 3, right?
No, up to.
Or up to...
Yes. So this is probably why he chose to shuffle back the Seeker early on in the turn.
In order to
Yeah, so
search it out
yes,
once again.
In the modern Adamantipator deck, actually they run a very, very small pool of Adamantipator monsters because they could be searched out with Block Dragons, so there's no need to play any more of them, especially when you can shuffle them back with the Ishizu cards.
And also, any Adamantipator gonna evacuate top 5 other decks. You can bring out any other rock types you want, and of course they can't bring up themselves. They only can bring out the non-tuners. And we see
it's a
another
miss.
Block Dragon.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate to excavate those. And of course, we still have the
Block
Dragon is still
again.
coming back again.
So,
It's always there. I think.
Alright, I believe this is Synchro Summon.
Yes, we're gonna see
Yeah.
as Baroness the Fleur. Oh, we see Researcher coming out. He has almost every Emancipator on his hand.
Oh, another miss.
Oh, another miss. Unfortunate for
Yeah.
Jiaqing.
So,
And he always has the option B, which is the Block Dragons.
yeah.
And of course, Jiaqing is not hesitate to extend even more. You're gonna go with the Chen Ying. We see Sword Soul Synchro Boss Monster coming out. And yes, he still haven't normal summon yet. We're gonna go for the Kwakumeru Guardian. And we go with... Oh, we go for Warlord Savage. Equipping the Unicorn from the graveyards. And
3 counter Warlord Savage.
yes, and increase the half of attacks of Unicorn, so it's gonna be... Oh, wait, he's triggering Chen Ying's effect due to Block Dragon Banish.
And the graveyard.
And the graveyard. So
yeah.
Also for for each banish, he gains 100 attacks, and that is a lot of banish. Blowout is coming out. Or building the further light.
I believe this will be a Braver.
Yes,
Braver Dragon.
yes, this is going to be Braver.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe, oh, he's go for the IP Masquerade. Interesting choice. Of course, IP and also treat it as in interruptions, because you can always go for link plays and search off by the Block Dragon.
Yeah, I believe since he knew the Lawrence hand, so he thinks that there's no need to...
Yes, Lawrence has already picked up his card, and we're going to a game 2. What amazing turnaround. And of course, resolving the grass is greener really changed up the game, but with just one card. And also the Ash block. So if the Ash didn't come out, maybe the shuffle will make it changes.
Yeah, the Ash Blossom is definitely critical, and I think Wang Jiaqing has nailed this game perfectly. So there was 2 points that Lauren tried to reshuffle his hand. So basically, the effect of Thunder Dragon Hawk is that when this card is banished, you could choose any number of cards in your hand, shuffle it back into a deck, and draw the same amount. So the first time when you tried to do it, Wang Jiaqing has an Ash to stop it. So, and the second time when Lauren tried to
banish with the Baldrix.
Correct.
And so then get interrupted by the Mudora.
He tried to trigger it again, but this time was stopped by Mudora. So both times Wang Jiaqing managed to make Lauren's Thunder Dragon be a dead weight in hand.
Yes, he didn't give it a lot of choices, because that turn was really a turnaround because of just one card, and also being the board of 4 interruptions, I believe, against 3 hand card is that's just powerful. And of course, the Block Dragons he's gonna not waste any chances, just keep coming back and forth.
Well, I think in this case, Lauren's destructions are what what you call it for. Technically, some of them are actually useless in this match. Mainly the Bestials, because Wang Jiaqing is mainly an Earth deck, so the Bestials are not going to do anything against Earth monsters in the graveyard.
Yes, unless you wanted to banish your own Thunder Dragons to trigger their effect, it will be an interesting choice.
That's all he could do, but that is not a destruction where you're banishing your own cards.
Yes, they just want to extend even more.
So, and this is a perfect showcase of why it's so hard to deck build for this meta game. As you can see, Lauren is playing Bestial, so I believe he's prepared to go out against Tiara Laments. Yeah. But in this case, Bestial have a poor matchup against Adamantipator.
Yes,
so that's a trait that he has to make in deck building.
Yes, it's kind of the cost for Bestials. So while the Bestials can't be used against opponent, of course it's also a Earth monster on the opponent's graveyard. Also, if you wanted to like banish your own stuff, your opponent might have Ishizus in the graveyard that might entrap your graveyard as well. And of course, Ishizu being the quick effect to shuffle back 3 cards from the graveyard is either field or graveyard. So even if the Ishizu is on the field, it can still banish itself for cost. And also, I realized that the Wang Jiaqing doesn't have a lot of super heavy samurai stuff. Mostly it's just earth good stuff. So we just now when the grass is greener is resolved, we all forgot about the super heavy samurai stuff in the graveyard. We were focusing on it's an earth deck.
No, I think it's a standard amount of super heavy samurais. For the 60 Adamantipator deck, they generally run a minimal package of super heavy samurai cards. So just 1 Monk Big Benkei, 3 Wakushi, 3 Soul Piercer, and 1, pretty much just a very bare minimum.
Yes, just enough to extend the combo. And you want, if you see it, you just see it. If you don't, just don't, or you just get milled by the graveyard. Of course, Block Dragon can't search them up because they are not rock types. They're just earth machines, I believe.
Correct. So, but since they are earth, they could be banished for
the Block Dragon, of course. Block Dragon being the, I would say, this next generation of Earth Dragon ruler. They just keep coming back and forth from the graveyard. Of course, Block Dragon can be special summon from the hand as well. Even if you draw it, it's not a brick. And after siding now, we're going to a game 2. We checking the side and extras, make sure that there's nothing being left out.
Oh yes, before I forget, I would like to remind the viewers that even though we are currently in the 1st of July, but the players in this tournament will be playing with the April ban list. So Block Dragon is still at 3 for Wang Jiaqing.
Yes, we're still going to see the triple Block Dragon be in play.
Yeah, so, and super heavy samurais are untouched, so Wang Jiaqing has a very, very powerful 60 of good stuff deck right now.
Yes, every monster in your deck is your advantages, and of course, almost full monster, I believe, for Wang Jiaqing's deck list. And of course, we see another one of the Bestial Lubellion. And also an interesting card to be used because you can search any of the Bestials and it discard for cost. We can see another one-off coming out. Of course, every Bestial is one-off except for South. I can't pronounce the name. Saurian, I believe.
Yes.
And of course, there's no response now. We see the Thunder Dragon again.
Does this feels like a deja vu of game 1?
Yes.
Where he opens with Thunder Dragon and Magnamuk.
Yes, of course. And they say if you love your decks, your monster just gonna always come to your hand. Of course, we see Thunder Dragon. Maybe it's Lauren Vida's favorite card. So he's listening to him.
He's choosing to add 2 Thunder Dragons again this time.
Yes, maybe he's wanted to try and Maxi is being played. Maxi is responding. This is crucial. And of course, no response for Lauren.
Yes, how unfortunate for Lauren. He does not have an Ash for Maxi.
Yes, so it's just gonna let Jiaqing add another card from the deck, and of course, Bestial Magnamuk is coming out. resolving during the end phase. Or he could just tribute the Magnaphone for the Lubellion if he wants to set another spell or trap from the deck in for other interruptions, but that is gonna add Jia into 2 cards more hand than him. Of course, he's thinking hard. Maybe he's not gonna let Maxi to stop him from doing what he wanted to do. I mean, in game 1, oh, interesting.
Deja vu again.
Yes, yes. I thought I was watching a playback. I be like,
Yes.
Isn't this just almost the same? Of course, the previous game don't have the Lubellions or the graveyard or Maxis. Oh, you see the Colossus. Oh, this time is the Thunder Dragon Roar. Of course, Roar being able to special summon another Thunder Dragon from the deck, and of course, it is bounce back to the hand during the end phase. Is it? Maybe he wanted to have the advantages.
It's hard to say. Is he going to go all in against it, or is it really worthwhile to try to pit against Maxi?
Yes, of course.
No, he choose not to.
Or he choose not to.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good choice. I think this is his best opening he could do while under Maxi.
Yes, but of course, having a Colossus on the field is still very powerful. Like we saw in the previous game, he preventing Blood Dragon from adding much more resources, and Baldrick is being searched. And again, not Druid Swarm. I was so used to adding Druid Swarm by Magnum because we saw a lot of players doing that. And now we're gonna going off into Jia turn. Of course, he's thinking hard about it. I'll be surprised if he opens another Grass is Greener and be like, really deja vu.
But I guess not, since he's thinking hard.
Yes, probably because he has due to the special summon twice, so he has total of 7 cards in his hand. Being going second, that is a lot of advantages.
Well, it's only advantages if you could play them.
Yes, of course.
They could be a dead weight in hand.
Yes, if you can be drawing a lot of hand traps.
Colossus.
Of course. And of course, Colossus being a tower monster on the field, and I'm surprised this time Lauren has a set card on the field, and of course we still like know his hand card is like previous turn. We have the 2 Thunder Dragons and the Baldrakes.
So the Thunder Dragon deck generally do not run any traps.
Oh, we see the Grass Screener is coming down once again. Lauren Vida shaking his head.
Oh man, are you sure this is not a replay? Why are we seeing the exact same thing?
Yes, we almost see the almost exact same thing. Like, and of course they are counting the cards in the deck, make sure it's resolving. And we see a lot. There's a lot of card difference because Lauren just now searched 2 cards, basically 3 cards from his decks. And we're gonna be resolving Grass is Greener again. We're gonna see much more and more resources from Jia side. And we see the 2 Blood Dragon on droplets. We see droplets from the deck as well. Of course, this time we'll be milling, I believe, is total of 17 cards.
Correct, 17.
Okay. And we have the...
Do I see 3 Wakushis being milled to the graveyard?
I think I just saw 3 Wakushi in the graveyard. But there's almost
and in a beautiful prismatic secret rare.
Yes, of course, the very expensive card as well.
Wang Xiaoxing has blinged out his deck.
Yes, if it was me, I would be very careful not to touch it so vigorously. And of course, the...
Do you spot any Block Dragon?
I think I just saw 2 Blood Dragons in the graveyards.
Oh, so he managed to hit it this time around?
Yes, he did hit 2 this time.
So I believe this is definitely a very powerful mill, especially since he even hit the Revival Golem.
Yes, the Revival Golem gonna choose either added himself to the hands or special summon itself. Of course, Jia is choose to special summon.
Correct.
That is very... I mean, not surprised if he choose to special instead of added to hand. And we're gonna see again.
3 Earth monsters from the graveyard being banished.
Yes, we saw it coming back from the graveyard, and it is Block Dragon. And of course, the resource is not as full as the previous one because he's got hit the droplet and the tactics to the graveyards. And of course, haven't been normal summoned yet. We see the Emancipator is coming down now.
But this is a much easier board for Qiaoqing to break this time. Lauren only has a single Colossus.
And of course, we do not know what the back row is. Of course, it might be crucial, or we see.
It's a miss.
It missed again, very surprisingly. And of course, we have the. I believe this time, if he even goes to the Charmer, he won't have any more extends. And we see Baldric is coming down. We have the Ghost Bell. And according to this time, the Baldric is failed to summon out once again. We see Baroness. Very interesting choice. I thought it was going to Unicorn to get rid of the Colossus first. We see coming out once again.
No, I think Qiaoqing wants to play it safe. He knows he likely has this game in his pocket, so he goes for a safer play with Baron first.
Yes, of course, the Baron, they're able to prevent Nibiru or the unknown back row he's been setting there for quite a long time. Of course, Qiaoqing is going to aim for the back rows. I'll be surprised if that back row is can't be useful in this current situation, because Baroness is choose to destroy the set card. Even if you respond it, it's gonna negate its effect, or is checking his graveyards. Of course, we have to remember that Block Dragon can always come out once and once again. He's still on the field. He's thinking hard. Lauren Vida is thinking hard. And we see the skill drains. Very interesting choice not to open there. Maybe he don't want it to cost the Colossus for not able to search.
And here comes the second Block Dragon.
This time is double the trouble for the field. Previous turn we only see one, and now we have two. Of course, the search effect is also once per turn. Even Colossus is not there, you still just get to search once. But that none doesn't matter because we just want the body. We see Earth Charmer again. And this time if Maxi is not there to extend, of course it's going to go into normal the link place. We see Unicorn once again being played. Of course, gonna get rid of the Colossus.
And it resolved successfully.
Yes, it's been resolved. And of course, Block Dragon is gonna coming out once again. Such a strong cover for being not once per turns. And it's linking way interesting. Another Appaloosa. And of course, this time it's gonna resolve. It's gonna add 3 more cards from the decks. And I surprised that the Baron is just coming out earlier than we expected. I was gonna thought it was coming out later on.
I think that was a perfect read by Wang Qiaoqing. So the Baron, summoning a Baron early was the correct play, since it could have negated the skill drain. If he'd done it any other way,
it could be something else. Of course, if it responds during the Block Dragon and Emancipator, it just, even if it link climbs to the Unicorn, it can't get rid of the Colossus, not to mention the skill drain at the back. And we're now seeing the Emancipator play, and this time it hits the Guardians, Koakemiru Guardian. It's also a very powerful card, being a 1900 beater and also negate any monster effects. And we can see now Qiaoqing is gonna go full board 6 monster on the field. And he's gonna go into battle phase.
Alright, Lauren is asking how much total attack is there on the board? Alright.
Yes,
do a quick calculation.
Of course.
And here comes the handshake.
Here comes the handshakes, and Wang Qiaoqing is gonna take the game. A very, very strong comeback due to just one card that really turned the tables around.
Yeah, that was a really quick game from Qiaoqing. So both games they only went into into turn two.
Into turn two,
That's
I
insane.
was surprised
Yeah.
they end during turn two, but it feel like a roller coaster just for turn two. It just going on so fast, and
Correct.
of course we have our winner here
Yeah.
together here
So,
with us.
Yes, let's welcome
Well,
the 2018 World
World
Champion with us.
Championship. 王嘉
So,
庆，哎，你好，
yeah.
你好，
你好，
就你好，就欢迎回来来到决斗者杯2023，所以这次来到新加坡，你有什么感想吗？就终于这么多年可以来一个国际比赛了。嗨
我很开心，那个就是重新开始比赛嘛，很高兴第一次就可以回来参加，
好
可以马上的来参与这个盛会。对
Alright, Chia Ting just said that he's very glad that so right on the very first tournament, that international tournament that returns, he's able to be back in the overseas tournament. So yeah, he's glad to be here. So
你对于刚刚的那场比赛，你的感想如何？
这样，
好像过山车，好快啊！
可是我有一个很强的牌，然后就是赌他有没有反制我的牌，这样，就是因为我的手牌其实就是靠那张在打。
就其实蛮尴尬的，对吧？
对啊。
So according to Chia Ching, according to the match just now, he was thinking like if opponent got interruptions and if he don't, it was be quite awkward. And of course, he is really surprised he can go through it all. It's like a roller coaster, like we mentioned just now.
yeah, so that's all we have for him today. So thank you for being here with us, and good luck for the rest of the day.
谢谢你今天参与，希望你可以继续
对，
继续
祝你好运。
祝你好运，
谢谢，
好
会加油，
谢谢。
好，谢谢。
So that's all we have for you for the first match of the day. So do stay tuned, and we'll be back with match 2 shortly.
コナミ
Welcome back, guys, to the main event of Duelist Cup 2023 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Live here at Singapore. And we just witnessed a very awesome match in Swiss 1, and now we're going on into Swiss 2. And would you follow the players to me? I
Alright.
see a Malaysian player, our fellow players.
And a
My fellow
Singaporean player.
My fellow player.
So on our left, we will have Kelvin Ang from Singapore. So he's the 2014 Asia champion, which allowed him to join the World Championship in 2014. So for this event, he earned his invite through the Rank Up League. So this time, he's another competitor that's looking to make a return to the World Championship.
Oh yes, a
Then-
comeback player.
yes.
And on the
Then-
other hand, we have Ivan Kwan.
Yes, from
And
Malaysia.
Yes, from Malaysia. I just met him second times today. The first time I met him was back in the League Cup back in Malaysia, if you guys didn't heard of it. And it was a qualified match to get the Chaos Goddess playmat, if I'm not mistaken about it. That's the first time I met him. And yeah, I do not know much.
Alright,
I don't know much
so-
about it.
What I have here is that he qualified for this Duelist Cup through the ranking tournament.
Oh.
So as you can see, both of these players are frequent participants of the ranking tournament. So
Yes.
I believe if you participate in your locals, you might be able to meet them.
Yes. But we are kind of different locals. They got like
Yeah, yes, yes,
different
definitely.
areas, and of course, grinding in our locals, getting the ranking point is not an easy work. And of course, they are both competitive, and
Yep.
they made it through. Good respect for them. And
Yeah. The locals, your locals might be competitive if you have players such as this that are grinding points for the Duelist Cup.
yes, grinding
So-
points to be in the Duelist Cup, go to Worlds, go to Asia.
Yep.
Of course, these are hard works. And of course, I have a big give up to these players who dedicated the game, and of course bring us so much to learn, so much to see. And now we're going to the second match of the days. And for Kelvin, he's gonna be using the 60 Earth good stuff.
So seems like it's the same deck as Wang Jiaqing.
Yeah, so it's the same deck as Wang Jiaqing. And on the other side, Kwan Seonggin, he'll be using tier elements. The normal tier elements.
Mm. Alright, the players have rolled their dice, so we are going to start soon. Kelvin An has chosen to go first.
Also, he chose to go first, and of course, he won the die roll. Most players choose to go first when you on the die roll. You want to gain the go first advantage, setting up everything on your field.
So in the previous match, we saw how Wang Jiaqing went second in both games. So we see how the Adamantibator deck are able to break board while going in. So
Yes.
this time around, Kelvin An is going to show us how he's going to build a board while going first.
Yes, of course. This is a totally different view now because you're going first instead of second, and the possibility, of course, is going to be endless. We see the basic Super Heavy Samurai setup, which is the Link 1 into Scarecrow, I believe.
Correct. So this is one thing that makes Super Heavy Samurai so powerful. Is that they have so many ways to search for Wakushi. But Kelvin An's Soul Piercer has been stopped by a Ash.
And of course, the Ash is gonna be responsible for gaining any more advantages, and the Scarecrow is gonna discard one and gonna bring back Wakaushi, right?
Not Wakushi, it's Soul Piercer.
That's Soul Piercer. I forgot
Yeah,
the
so
name.
it-
And
yeah,
discarding the
that's
block
right.
dragons. And of course, Scarecrow can't be used as a link material this turn, so you can't link climb with this. And the block dragon is just there waiting for the moment to shine.
Hmm.
Oh, interesting
No
choice.
place.
Kelvin choose to pass turns. Maybe you don't want to extend even more, or just feel like you're gonna waste the materials. Of course, tier elements is also a deck that really waste on the materials. The more you waste, the thinner your deck. Oh, of course, another one off coming off from tier elements.
Hmm.
And he choose not to go for the Tear Element Fuse spell. Interesting choice. And of course, being a Tear Element, that you'll be wondering why he's not searching for the Tear Element Fuse spell. Well, they are called Limit 1 good stuff for nothing.
Yeah, Shonging made a very technical play just now. So after adding the field card to your hand with terraforming, he asked his opponent for any response. So this is actually proper play, since the opponent could respond with a draw and lock bird in this
Yes.
timing. So you should always play your cards slowly and always ask whether your opponent has a response.
Yes, give them another priority chance to respond in your actions, I believe. And of course, the Ashes respond to the field spell, and the Tear Element field spell is being replaced and search for Shailene. And of course, that moment, if being drawn, is definitely not the case anymore.
This would be a very different game if
Yes.
if there was a draw.
The top 3 has been Mew. Oh, we see Revolution Synchron. Of course, the new cards that just came out from Duelist Nexus.
That's a pretty good meal.
Yes, you get the
Search of
it. Of course, nowadays Tear Elements is we don't focus on milling Tear Element monsters to fusion. Sometimes if you mill the spell trap, you can still gain the advantages of it. You won't lose a single resources. Every mill is count. And of course, we're coming down the Cash Tear Elements. Gonna banish the trap, mill another 3, and we see the Ash Blossom again. And of course, this time we have the Kelbeck is being milled. He's thinking about want to resolve it or not, because it might send off the cards of our opponent for Blood Dragons to special out. Or if he chooses to resolve.
Not so much of Blood Dragon. I think he's worried about Calvin flipping over his own shuffler.
His own Ishizu stuff, of course.
Yes, but I think this is what do you call that? It's a calculated risk that's within calculation, since Calvin's running a 60 card deck, so the odds are low, but well, lucky for Calvin.
Well,
no, he didn't need to mill it, so he did mill.
He did mill the Keldo to the graveyards. Well, it's a big risk, big rewards. You want to go it, you have to go all the way. And of course, Seongjin is not bad at all. He milled the Halfness and the Merly, and of course, I saw Collider. Everything is being milled.
Correct, but since he already knew that Calvin has a Keldo
so to prepare for it.
There's no reason to activate all of them in the same chain.
Yes.
Since they're going to get shuffled back, so he chooses to just activate one of them, forcing the Keldo.
Yeah, of course, shuffling all the important stuff. Oh, he maybe have different thoughts on it.
The Helvis was the one that was activated, so this definitely has to go back. But now, what else would he choose?
Or he can choose to shuffle his own stuff if he feels that he wanted them for the next turns.
That might be a crucial play, because Super Heavy Samurai requires you to have no spell or trap in graveyard to activate the effect, and now Calvin has quite a number of spells in his graveyard, so that could be an option that he might want to do.
Yes, also the Ishizu card is shuffling cards instead of monsters, so you can shuffle anything you want. Of course, you choose to shuffle back the Grass is Greener for a 60 mil. Of course, your deck is maintaining much. We see the Mudora is being response as well from Seongin's side. And of course, Ishizu stuff is target up to the numbers and shuffle the deck. Even one is missing, is still shuffle, I believe.
Yes, correct. So
we shuffle back the Block Dragon.
This is a bit of a questionable play.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, but maybe Seongjin has something else up his mind.
Yes, maybe he wanted to stall even more. Since like he just milled all of his Tear Element monsters and he shuffle back, want to go another chance.
He has another way to mill some more to trigger the Tear Element's effect again.
Since it doesn't activate all of it, of course, if you have the chance, you can still go for it. He's thinking about activating the Fuse spell, because since a Tear Element is being shuffled back. Or he chooses to activate it. Of course, some people might forget about the few spells third effect, I believe. When a tier 11 monster is returned to the deck and shuffled, you get to target a card of you and destroy it. A very good interruptions, not to mention the extra 500 attacks for all the tier elements and fusions. He chose to
That's an interesting play.
I
So
surprised he didn't go for the Scarecrow since he's gonna
Yeah.
make a damage 0 for 1 battle.
no,
He's gonna search what he needed.
yeah.
Or he search the BN of the Soul Piercer.
Yeah, super heavy samurai skills.
So he is prepared the material for the next turn. And of course, I believe Seongjin haven't done with it yet. We see another one-off, which is the Foolish Bureau. Of course, he's not done with the stuff yet. Oh, Jet Synchron, another one-off. I'll be surprised if he play two.
Oh,
Oh, the Trivi Karma.
Yeah.
Is at the hand, of course. It's also a one-off. He's gonna search a card that lists us with Visa Star Frost in his name. Scream is in search. He wanted the extra mule.
wow. So he can make a very explosive play.
Yes, or
So
he just push
Choose to
the
activate Scream. That will allow him to mill 3 cards when he summons a monster, since he already has a tier elements on the field.
yes, of course, and also not to mention
And we see the
He-
the level 7 and level 1 Duna going to
or
the
you go for
graveyard.
the Chaos Ruler.
Yep.
Well, technically it's Mill 9, Mill 8 at this
Mill-
point.
Yep.
So you can
Mill
resolve
3
in
and
the
Escalate
Scream
5.
due to the effects of... Oh, that's... The Veiler has been picked up due to the effects of Chaos Ruler, and he's thinking want to resolve the Rhino Hearts and the Shadow Beast. Yes, of course the Beast is gonna let
Yes.
Seongjin to draw another card.
Of course, Veiler is added to hand, so
Another interruptions by accident.
yeah. Well, that's the only thing he wants in hand. You want all the other cards to go to the graveyard,
Yes, you-
especially Beast.
Yes, you don't want to
Yeah.
have the Beast in your hand. Unless you want to tribute summon for some reason. And Revolution Synchron is coming out. Since he synchro this turn,
Yeah.
he get to mill the top deck and special summon out as a level 1. A Glow Above 2.0, I believe. Another 2 is mill, and we see Snow White. Oh, that is very crucial play. Mostly every monster is being milled.
Yeah.
All the important monsters, I believe.
I think Snow might have decided this game, so
Yes, Snow is
Yeah.
really it's really I would say the best level 4 monster in the deck.
I think it's similar to Block Dragon. It's
Yes.
Special summoning is not limited to once per turn, so it can
Yes.
keep coming back as long as he has enough cards to banish.
And not to mention it has an interruption of a Book of Moon effect as well.
Yeah,
If your opponent has anything, you can just Book of Moon it. And we're going to a Axis play now. We see Time Thief Redoer. So Seongjin is gonna immediately uses his effect to banish it until the end of turn. Gonna trigger Shaylin.
For Redoer's effect, Redoer's detaches a material as an effect, so this will allow him to trigger Sharon's effect.
Since it's not being the one that is detached. So he detached the Snow White and of course gonna be sent to the graveyards. Seongjin is thinking hard for this.
Sharon's effect is triggered, so now he gets to fusion summon.
Yes, he returned the King of Swamp and Shaylin, so he chose to go for Dark World Fusion, the Grapha, I believe. Of course, I don't think he was gonna extend even more. Of course, this board can't go for game, but it's gonna do a lot of damage. and also push the board. You have literally.
No, I think he has game. So Scarecrow only gets the effect while you have no spell trap in the graveyard.
Oh, he didn't return back the triple tactics talent.
Exactly. So
Oh, he's still going to take damage regardlessly.
yeah.
And not to mention the attack is 0.
So I think this might be game.
So
With the
Seongin's
finishing damage
Seonggin
from
is gonna
snow.
snow it out, banish another 7 cards in the graveyard. He's thinking about it. He wanted to keep almost the important stuff.
Calvin scoops, knowing that was pretty much game. So
Oh, Kelvin picks up his card. He knows that Snow White is gonna come out. Is gonna that spell card in the graveyard really like change the thoughts though. I forgot that you have to be 0 spell.
correct. So this is something tricky about Super Heavy Samurai. So they have a very restrictive condition to activate their effect. So and yeah, that turns out to hurt Kelvin that he did not choose to shuffle all his spells back into the deck.
Yes, I thought he was gonna like maybe he thought that he won't gonna get OTK this turn, so he's like playing safely but surely. But the opponent's field said otherwise. The callback effect is also crucial. If the top 5 is not milled, maybe he will like survive another turn. And of course, without the top 5, Seonggin will not have the Mudora, and Kelvin will not have the Keldo as well.
I think that was a perfect showcase of how Theorems play in a modern context when almost the whole deck is limited to 1.
Yes, every
So-
card is limited to 1.
So,
Just now we
yeah,
see
the
the
deck-
field spell.
The
Wow.
deck no longer depend heavily on fusion. It goes into synchro as well now.
Yes, you play
And-
every single one of it. We also see Axis of Redoer is a everything deck.
So
So-
Chaos Ruler was pivotal in the match. It pretty much generates an insane amount of card advantage for Seonggin.
Yes, forget the mill 5. The mill 5 is just a bonus, and also being a 3000 body on the field, and you can add anything that is light or dark. And also for Seonggin, he has the hand trap of Veilers in the main deck, and after side we might have different other choices, something like the Nibiru, which is also a light and dark.
I wouldn't call the Mu 5 a bonus. I think the Mu 5 is what you want from Chaos Ruler.
You wanted
And
that
so
everything
even
destroyed.
even if Chaos Ruler, so that there are sometimes that players, even if they flip dark out, they might choose not to add it to hand. So it's optional to add it to hand. So sometimes they just want to mill all the cards to the graveyard, and
Yes.
that's what Chaos Ruler does for Terror
Yes.
Elements.
Yes, you want everything in your graveyard. Your graveyard is your new hand. Your new
Yeah.
hand is your resources.
And that's what happened for Seonggin in that game. So basically, he managed to hit all the Terror Elements, and that allows him to go off in that game.
Yes, the MILF, that 5 card is I wouldn't say perfect, but it's just suitable for that moment. And of course you have the Ishizu stuff as well, and the field spell is also there. You have both field spell in the deck, all come to the hand.
I believe that might be one of the most what do you call it, optimal opening from Terror Elements. You get both field spells
Yes, you
in your opening hand.
yes you get both benefits, and also your mill opening hand is nice. Your mill nice. Your board is just all the way. So we see both our players are still studying. They're thinking hard, long and hard, because both also play the Ishizu package. Of course, Calvin don't want to activate the Ishizu stuff that recklessly. He wants to think, what if our opponents mill a tier stuff as well? I believe Calvin is gonna go first at this point. It's totally different from the previous game, which But the same is you go second, you just that was fast.
I believe that is the case for the current meta game. So most decks have a very strong advantage going first, so they would choose to go first. But it's hard to say. I mean, sometimes you could throw off your opponent's side decking by making them go first instead, while you side in all the go second cards.
Oh yes, that is a very
Legit strategy.
yes, there's a mind game there.
Yeah.
But of course, it will be an interesting choice to let your opponents go first, since
Yes.
most of the side deck cards might be not relevant in that situation. And of course, playing a 60 card, you have to count everything, and it's hard to shuffle, especially like if you have small hands like me.
Oh, it's not that bad of a worry this time. So because this is the highest tier of tournament, so all players were given the Duelist Cup sleeves to use, and they are only allowed to use the Duelist Cup sleeves for this tournament. So-
Yes.
So for players who have participated earlier in the Duelist Cup qualifier in your region, so you might have gotten a pack of these sleeves. So Kai, I believe you have played in the Duelist Cup. So
Yes, I do.
so you do have a pack of these sleeves as well?
Yes, I have it back
Yeah.
at home. It was a really nice sleeve, not gonna lie. Of course, both players are setting on, and now they are ready for the game 2.
Yep.
They're counting cards.
Right, counting out the cards, make sure that they have the correct amount of cards sided in and out. So
And also, not to mention, they are using the same sleeve. You don't want to mistaken your opponent's
Yeah.
card as well. Oh, you mistaken the
yeah,
Keldo.
seems like
Oh, luckily they checked their decks.
yeah. And that's why you should always count your cards
Count your
before
cards,
starting the game.
yes.
So this could happen when both players are playing with the same sleeves.
And of course they just now they are like putting the banish power on the same place, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I guess that's how the mix-up happened.
Well, luckily they count it out before starting the next match, or it will be really awkward. Why do I draw
Yes.
two of the same that is been limited one?
So now the mix-up has been resolved. I believe the players are going to start shortly after shuffling their opponent's deck.
So Kelvin is gonna choose to go first. Will we see a different outcome? And of course, this time, this different. We see the Koaki Meru Guardian is being played.
Yeah. So with Guardian in play now, Guardian will be able to negate a monster effect, and now he won't be able to be stopped by an Ash
Or any monster hand traps
Yeah.
we have. Of course, it doesn't stop Imperm. So, but it's already enough for a monster on the field. Is do that much of a interruption, and now we see a different play of the Super Heavy Samurai.
And this is a definitely better opening hand for Kelvin. So in the previous game, he had no further plays because he did not open with Wakushi, and he had to summon Soul Piercer to as a way to search for it. But that limits his play. This time around, he opened directly with Wakushi, and he could make a much better opening board.
And of course, getting much more advantage from the Super Heavy Samurai stuff. Of course, he choose not to summon. He choose to equip and then to send the graveyard for a extras. I would say saving the normal summons for, because you already use the Koaki Meru to guard the normal summon. So all their super heavy stuff they can be equipped. So they're just spell but with monster text mostly. So Seongjin no response. Kevin just gonna go all the way, I believe.
Yeah, it's a standard super heavy samurai play.
Just gonna go for interesting choice. Of course, another interruption is coming out, which is the Borrow Lord Savage. Another interruption. Of course, he has the Link monster in the graveyard, which is the Scarecrow.
Yeah, a very standard and safe play.
And the Pizzo has been set due to send to the graveyard, or the extra deck, I would say. And of course, get the another search. This is the standard opening board for the super heavy samurai. You want the extra negate, and your hand size is not being depleted as much. You still have your resources for the following turn. And the pendulum summon from hand and the extra decks. And of course the combo does not stop there, we'll see even more.
Grey Knight Galleon, effects activated, and this will fetch him, most likely. Block
Dragon.
Alright, Seongjin
Alright,
concedes at this point.
Seongjin choose to pick up his card. He doesn't even want to wait anymore.
Yeah. So
Very interesting turnaround. Very like, just now we all witnessed a turn 2. Now he just turn 1.
yeah, I think this was what Kelvin was going for in game 1. If his search was not stopped by Ash.
Yes, of course. This time no interruptions. Go all the way full power board, and also have the block dragons as follow up. A very powerful board by Kelvin. Show us what the super heavy samurai is capable of.
So an interesting point is that Seongjin did not even reveal a single card in this game, so we have no idea what he has in his side deck.
Yes, we have literally no idea, and he didn't even want to wait for the combo to end. He didn't want to know his 6th card. He just wanted, like, you know what? I'm gonna try going first next time.
No, I think this might be a strategic play to concede earlier, cause when you concede earlier before your opponents plays the power 2 Braver Dragon.
Oh yeah.
And does the standard Smoke Grenade combo. So if you wait till then, the opponent will be able to look at his hand. So by conceding earlier, he can keep what side deck cards he's playing as a secret from his opponent.
Yes, you don't want to review any intel from his hand and of course one of your side cards, if he's reviewed by the power 2 Braver, you will be exposed to anything you have, and you try to keep it as mystery as possible. Straight to side deck, no hesitations.
So as mentioned in the previous match, so the standard side deck card against 60 of good stuff is Draw and Lock Bird. So we are likely to expect Seongjin to be playing Draw and Lock Bird, but it has been dropping in popularity recently because of how the meta game shift. So while Draw and Lock Bird is powerful against the Adamantibator deck, so it's not that good against other decks such as Rescue Ace. So some player might choose to cut down on Draw and Lock Bird, like playing 2 copies instead of 3. So this might come back to hurt him if that's how he chooses to build his deck.
Yes, of course, the super heavy samurai, one of the decks in this environment that searches a lot. The Draw and Lock Bird is a good option against the deck. But of course, you don't want to Draw and Lock Bird against tier elements. They don't search that much as often. Against other decks, I believe is not that effective, I would say, for Draw and Lock Bird.
So I think this is what that makes this metagame such a difficult format to play in, because there's no there's no one card that stops all the decks. So every tech card only has a limited pool of deck that you can go against.
Yes, of course. If you, like we mentioned the draw and lockbird, you can stop the super heavy samurai, and you can't stop decks like tier elements or even the rescue ace that doesn't search that much.
So there's a trade-off you have to make in deck building and side decking.
Yeah, you have to give up some if you want. And of course, once again, counting the
cards, make sure that
didn't mistakenly take anything out. Although Seongjin didn't review anything at all, or didn't even put anything on the field at all.
So
the extra deck sleeve is the same as the main decks, right?
Correct. So this is a rule of the tournament. All players will be using this Duelist Cup sleeves provided by the tournament organizers. So they are only allowed to use this sleeve in this tournament, which is why everyone is using the same sleeves.
And of course, even the extra deck need to be checked properly as well. You don't want your extra deck to be mistakenly taken, especially if you're both playing the same deck, like mirror match and so on. That would be awful, I believe. I think Seongjin is gonna choose to go first at this point.
Well, he's thinking hard about it.
Yes, we saw him flipping back and forth of these side decks. Also, both players up against a deck that relies on graveyard that much. They want to mill everything. Well, not super heavy samurai to mill everything. It's like you want certain things in your graveyard, and you don't want to mill your opponents as well. You might trigger something. Okay, both players' deck has been cut, shuffled. Now is the deciding game 3. Of course, Seongjin chose to go first.
Oh, Seongjin opens with a Terramon's Field card. What a fantastic opening.
Yes, of course, also the limit 1 stuff.
Yeah.
Shailene is being added. And of course, no response in Kelvin's side as well. You choose to go for Shailene's, mute the top 3, and we see Snow White again.
With Glow Above, that's quite a good meal. So.
And also discarding the Skomata at hand, which is obviously not the thing he's want to see in your hand.
Oh, yeah, well, it's a decent card to have if you have Sheeran.
Yes, of course. With Sheeran, any card in your hand doesn't matter. You just gotta mill it. And of course, send off the beast to get another extra draw. And Foolish Bureau of Goods. Of course, sending it off the trap is gonna fetch him another Rainbow Heart.
He has not used his normal summon, so Rainbow Heart is likely.
It's likely gonna. He chose not to go for it first.
Yeah, because Rainbow Hearts allows you to choose a card to send a graveyard, so I think it might be better to actually try to activate this what do you call it? Milling effect first. So you might hit a Terramons at this point, and your Rainbow Heart can choose to send another Terramons name instead.
Yes, of course, Rainbow Heart is the only pinpoint discard from the deck. You don't want to waste that opportunity.
Yep.
And we see Glow Up has been milled. Oh, we see the Calback is being milled by this top deck. He chose not to. He chose not to. You can see Kelvin is smiling.
No need to risk when you have a Chaos Ruler.
Yes, of course. Chaos Ruler is obviously better if you just mill yourself instead of your opponents together. That's a lot of resources in the graveyard already. Of course, no response from Kelvin as well. We see the Veiler again. You can also Swamp, Ash, Mudora, and a Trap. Ash, another time that Veiler is being picked up instead.
But no graveyard effect this time, since he has already used Solid its effect.
Yes, Solid is already being activated just now. So I guess now he still can be able to extend even more. He have a normal summon yet.
Yep.
He has a Revolution and Snow White.
Reno finally comes down.
Reno finally comes down, gonna send off the Merly. And of course not gonna waste the Merly to fusion summon. With the Swamp, we just send from. So we see the Grapha is coming down once again. And now we get to see the Revolution Synchro, I believe.
And
Okay.
there it is.
There it is, gonna mute the top deck again.
Wow.
Scream, another Tearman card is being mute.
But he has already. Oh,
he
that
used,
was thinking, so
he used up all the Tearman's trap card.
that was an illegal activation since he do not have any more Tearman's trap in his deck.
Yes, of course, and it's gonna synchro to 9 the Heart Rate Dragon Abyss.
Correct. Yeah.
And gonna go for time to redoer, gonna extend the Tearman stuff during the opponent's turn. Of course, this time is either you choose to go for Reno or Shailene during the opponent's turn. And we must not forget that Snow White is in the graveyard, is acted as a interruption as well. Oh, you choose to use it now. Oh, the Gamma. You see the Gamma is being played. Of course, gonna respond with the Grapha. Or half this is in the hand. That's a lot of Tearman stuff we have in Seonggin's hand. And of course, I'm surprised Kelvin hold on to that one of Gamma at hand until this moment of time. Of course, the Grapha discard is not a cost, so you get to trigger Halfness after resolve of the Shailene's effect, or he can choose not to. Winda is being played. Oh, interesting choice. Is that legal for Mud Dragon?
Yes, because the Shadow are
dark
spellcasters.
Dark
so
spellcasters.
they are different types.
Yes.
Compared to Tearman's Aqua.
Seonggin's still thinking hard about it. He was thinking about his choices. And of course, during the end phase, the redo is gonna return back to the field. And now Kelvin gonna draw for turn. Oh, for people who forgot about Redoer, he has the effects of attach the top decks of the opponents as material during the standby phase. So he chose to attach the top decks.
And he changed with Mud Dragon the Swarm's effect, declaring dark. So now all his dark monsters cannot be targeted.
Cannot be targeted by effects, and of course limited opponent only special summon once per turn.
This seems like a.
It seems like it also protects the Snow White if it comes out from the graveyard, I believe. If it's on the field to activate the Book of Moon's effects, and it's become a dark, cannot be target as well. Is it?
No, snow is a light.
Oh yeah, he doesn't change the attribute of the
Correct.
afterwards.
No, you only change. So Mud Dragon and Swarm's effect change the attribute of itself. So any
Or any dark.
correct. So no, any monster with the same attribute as it cannot be targeted.
Oh yeah, that's.
So that's which is Mud Dragon's original attribute is water, which is why
Water.
he wanted which is why he wanted to switch it to dark, because the rest of his board are dark monsters.
And can be targeted by effect as well.
Yeah, that will make it that will pretty much make his make it extremely difficult to break his board, especially with Winda standing there that cannot be targeted.
Yes, the wind that cannot be destroyed by card effects and cannot be targeted by card effects. You can only just ram it over. And of course, we have to remember that the Tier Element Field Spell gains a 500 attacks for every fusion monsters. So that is one big Winda right there.
And of course, he still has 2 negation with
The Abyss and the Grapha changed the effects to discarding 1 card.
yeah.
Are we going to see the, of course, he will be activating or discarding Quakimeru Guardian. This is the mill from deck, right?
I believe so.
Oh, the time is called. So we're gonna go into the
Time call procedure. So
Procedure.
starting with Kelvin's turn will be turn 0, and then there'll be a 3 additional turn, and that will determine the
winner with
Yeah.
with the play with the highest life points.
correct. So
And we see Seongjin responds with the Grapha and discarding Agido, and of course not activating the Agido's effect. You can see Kelvin smile. He's thinking hard about this. We see another Fertilizer card in his hand.
that seems to be the case.
He's gonna discard the Gamma as a cost to... At this moment, I believe that... Heart rate only targets a few, so Grapha already being used. And we didn't... Oh yes, he did. He have the Mudora in the graveyard. Yes, I thought... Just now I was thought that he didn't have any Ishizu cards in the graveyard except for Calbat and Agido, but he did. We just didn't notice that. So we're gonna resolve it and send one from the deck. He's thinking long and hard about it. He's gonna send the Agido. So Agido's gonna trigger, I believe. Yes,
Yeah.
he do. You're gonna mill the top 5 of both players' decks. And we see Calbat is being flipped from Calvin's side.
But Seongjin has his own triggers as well.
We see him mill the Cash Tier Elements and also another Ishizu card, which is the Keldo. He was thinking want to activate the Cash Tier effects or not. And of course he do. He's gonna be milling 2 first.
And followed by another 5 for both players.
Because we see a lot of the one-off coming up from Seongin's side. And of course, Kelvin also milled quite an amount, and he picks up his card.
Yeah, that was
That was a rough mill.
that was a really rough game for Calvin. There was nothing he could do. So Seongin opened with an incredible board.
Yes, the hand is like impossible to
Yeah.
block it. He opened literally everything.
Yeah, that was.
He searched for the Rhino Hearts. He have the half decent hand. Search for Shailene and send for Merly. Well, that's everything.
And it's insane to think that Teramans is now.
It's now that everything is limit
Yeah.
1, and now
Oh,
we have
Seongin, have a seat. Have a seat.
as now we have
Yeah.
the winner of this match.
Oh, can you
and
sit closer to
Seongin.
the microphone?
Right.
All right. Congratulations on winning round 2. So
you.
I believe you won your first match as well. So you're now standing at 2-0.
Yeah.
Correct. So yeah, you're off to a very good start. So
Yeah, because I go first. Yeah.
yeah. Do you mind sitting closer?
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, just push your seat up.
All right.
All right. So, from what I have here, so the last major top you had was in the Chaos Soldier Primastic Secret Rare tournament in Malaysia, I believe. Do you want yourself a copy of that?
Yeah.
Oh yes, you did. So from what I have here, you were playing tournaments as well.
Yeah.
So
I've been playing for almost half a year. Yeah.
oh, you love this deck a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I assume it's
Sure.
the favorite deck of all time for you.
Yeah, so after the before they got open for 3, it's not limit to 1. So that time I not choosing to play because a lot of people play. Yeah, so now just join in
All right.
for this tournament.
Just playing
So-
everything you like.
Yeah, so after the banish, I guess many people will be paying back.
I
Yeah,
see.
very-
I
Back
see.
tournament, yeah.
So this was an obvious choice for you. So you didn't have to think of what deck you play. You knew that you're gonna play Teramans for this tournament.
Yeah, but tournaments one because fear is when you're facing when your opponent through the maxi, so sometimes you just let them pass.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
I-
very easy to get
Yeah.
through maxi. So this is really tough for tournament.
It's also,
Right.
I think you mentioned that you just passed the turn. So that is your answer to Maxi if you're playing TRMs mostly, right?
Yeah, so that's why I just pray for 3 Urara. Yeah,
Yeah, the answer to
yeah.
the Maxi.
Urara would be Ash Blossom for
Yeah.
those that are not
Yeah,
familiar
Ash
with the
Blossom.
Japanese name.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
So that's all we have for you.
You?
Yeah.
So good luck for your following matches.
For your
Sure.
matches?
Thank
Alright.
you. All right,
Got
thank you.
you.
So
Good.
this will be the end of round 2, and stay tuned shortly for round 3 next.